The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, The War Years. What can we get out of this series?
Well, all the stories take place from 1916 to 1922. This is truly one of those shows that I can honestly say I would watch whether I was in it or not. All the characters are real. They're real historical events, facts and figures, whether it's Winston Churchill, Lenin, Stalin, Albert Schweitzer. And they're really what happened back then that ended up shaping the world that we live in today.
Major Boucher only cares what's best for Major Boucher. Only cares for what's best for his people.
He cares about your people, too. That's why he's here. That's why we're all here. To get the Germans out of Africa so your people can have a future.
Captain Indy, you're a very good man. A kind man, but not a very smart man. Belgians are not here for my people's future. Belgians are here for white people's future.
The only fictitious character is Indiana Jones, so it was a wonderful opportunity for me to learn about the world, partake in all of these real events and these situations, the signing of treaties and declaration of war and what started the war and everything. And included in the DVDs, there's actually a number of documentaries with ancestors of historical figures, some real historical figures. There's a timeline of the events as they transpired. And there's actually a little game you can play as well. So I'm super excited about this. This is really the biggest moment in my career, and it's the one that opened every door that's open to me today. So I owe a lot of my career to Young Indiana Jones and George Lucas, and it's one of those projects that you do that you're proud of for the rest of your life, and hopefully one day I'll get to show my kids. So
I would have to think that it's a little bit of an ego boost to play Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it was, very much so. I mean, to be considered, you know, with the likes of Harrison Ford is, I mean, obviously that's an ego boost. But unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but he actually did bookends on one of the episodes. But they shot that actually in Chicago. And I was filming at a different part of the world at the time, so I didn't get to meet him, but that would have been really, really great. But it was a wonderful opportunity for me to add to a character, you know, do the life experiences and experience love, life, death for the first time, and all those things that one encompasses that ends up shaping the character that they eventually become, which we all know to be the Harrison Ford character of Indiana Jones.
Now, this was shot all over the world. Is there one scene or one place where you shot that really sticks out for you?
Prague, Czechoslovakia, without question.
That is like the new spot to be. That is a new hot spot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the new hot spot, but it certainly was back in the 90s. You know, I've heard that it's become a little touristy now, but wow, you know, in the 90s it was they always said it was like Paris in the 20s. Obviously, I don't know what Paris in the 20s was like, but I've read enough Hemingway to know what he thought Paris in the 20s was like, and it really does mimic that whole idea, the whole vibe, the whole influx of different nations' commerce and art, and just the whole open world theory. It was a wonderful time to be in Prague. It really was.
And your background probably got you this role, black belt. You race cars. I would say you're a little bit adventurous yourself.
Yeah. That's probably a good way of putting it. I think that ended up helping out when we did stunts and whatnot, but I don't think anybody really knew at the time. So, but it definitely helped out when we started doing fight sequences and running on trains and jumping in cars, out of cars, setting yourself on fire, jumping off cliffs. It definitely came in handy.
Now, I have to touch on the guest stars in The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, because they were quite impressive. I heard Daniel Craig, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, life was really rough for young Indiana Jones because his first girlfriend was Elizabeth Hurley. His second girlfriend was Catherine Zeta-Jones. His third girlfriend was Anne Heche, and he didn't see a spaceship when he dated her, so that was quite convenient. But yeah, a lot of the ancillary stars were huge names: Vanessa Redgrave, Christopher Lee, Daniel Craig. So it was really an education in acting for me. My first foray into film, and I'm working with the likes of George Lucas and Vanessa Redgrave. It really doesn't get much bigger than that. So it was film school for me. It really was.